tuned into the deep dive, and today we're really zoning in on the NBA. Specifically, that really intense play-in game we just saw between the Memphis Grizzlies and the Golden State Warriors.
That's right. We've got a game recap here, and also, pretty interesting, a look at how fans reacted online afterwards.
Yeah, so the plan isn't just, read off the box score.
No, definitely not. We want to dig into what really mattered, the key moments, the standout players, and just kind of get the feel for all the buzz around this one.
Okay, let's start with the basics then. Final score, Warriors took it 121 to 116.
A close one. And Desmond Bane, he had a big night for the Grizzlies, dropped 30 points.
He did, but on the Warriors side, Jimmy Butler III was just unreal, 38 points.
Yeah, 38 for Butler and Steph Curry right there with 37. Though, it's never just about the top guys.
Right. For Memphis, Ja Morant chipped in 22, Jaren Jackson Jr. had 18, and Zach Edey, big presence inside.
Oh, yeah, Edey had the double-double with 14 points and 17 boards. Huge.
Exactly. And Santi Aldama gave them some good minutes off the bench, too.
And for Golden State, can't forget Gary Payton II, 12 points off the bench. That's always valuable. Plus, Draymond Green doing his thing, dishing out 10 assists.
So the game itself, it wasn't exactly straightforward, was it? Felt like a roller coaster?
Not at all. The Warriors, they came out absolutely blazing. They were up by 20 points pretty early in the first half.
Yeah, it looked like it might get out of hand fast. But you got to give Memphis credit.
Totally. That third quarter, they just flipped a switch, went on a 19-8 run?
Something like that, yeah. And suddenly that huge lead was down to just 3 points going into the fourth. Talk about a momentum shift.
Made for a super tense final quarter. Even with like a minute left, Warriors were up 6.
And it still wasn't over. Memphis fought back, got it down to a single point, 1 point, with only like 14 seconds left.
The pressure in that building must have been insane.
Seriously. Then Curry steps up, goes to the free throw line.
Cool as ever. Sinks both. Puts them up 3 with about 5 seconds to go. A little breathing room, but...
But still not done, because then the Grizzlies had that inbound.
Yeah. The 5-second violation took too long to get the ball in.
Yeah.
Just a brutal mistake at that moment.
Turnover, Warriors ball. And that was pretty much it. Curry hits 2 more free throws to ice it.
You just cannot have those kinds of errors, especially not then. It underscores how tight the margin for error was.
And speaking of errors, turnovers were a huge story in this game, weren't they?
Oh, massive. The recap highlighted it. Warriors scored 27 points directly off Grizzlies' turnovers.
27 points from 20 turnovers by Memphis.
Think about that. In a game decided by 5 points. That's essentially giving the game away, almost. Those are extra chances you just hand over.
Yeah, you gotta wonder, was that Warriors defense forcing them or just costly mistakes?
Probably a bit of both, But definitely something Memphis has to clean up if they want to win that next one.
Okay, let's pivot to maybe the biggest individual storyline. Jimmy Butler III. 38 points, incredible game.
Absolutely dominant. He really set the tone early, scored 21 just in the first half. But it wasn't just the points, right? It was how he got some of them.
Right, the free throws.
Yeah.
That became a huge talking point afterwards, especially looking at the fan reactions.
Exactly. He got to the line 18 times, 18 free throw attempts. Made 12, which is solid, but just the sheer number.
Yeah, 18 is a lot, especially when you look at his regular season numbers. He averages, about 7 attempts a game, which is already pretty high, like top 10 in the league.
Right, so to more than double that in a do-or-die play-in game, that definitely stands out.
It really does. And the sources mentioned this isn't something he does often. Like, only 16 times in his whole 14-year career has he shot 18 or more free throws.
So for it to happen now, well, you can see why it generated so much discussion. You often hear about the playoff whistle. Maybe things get called a bit differently. Maybe guys who initiate contact, like Butler does so well, get the benefit of the doubt more.
Or maybe that's what the fans were seeing, at least. Which brings us to those reactions online. People were not holding back.
No, definitely not. There was a very strong feeling among some fans that the officiating was, let's say, tilted towards Butler and the Warriors. The word rigged came up a lot.
Yeah, we saw quotes like, if you want to see a rigged game, just watch every Warriors game and see how they ref for Jimmy Butler. Pretty blunt.
And another one, I've never watched a more rigged game in my life that was insane. Just pure frustration coming through there about those calls.
Saw others too, like, rigged, how does Jimmy get this call? And someone even pointed out a specific play, said Butler maybe airballed it but still got foul shots.
Yeah. It's tough. We're just reporting what people were saying, obviously. These are raw, emotional reactions. in the heat of the moment.
For sure. And, is it possible the high number was just a result of Butler constantly attacking the basket and Memphis maybe committing legitimate fouls trying to stop him? Or are fans seeing bias because the stakes are so high?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Without breaking down every single play, it's impossible to say definitively. But what's clear is how officiating, or even just the perception of it, can totally dominate the narrative after a close, high-stakes game.
Absolutely. So, okay, looking ahead then, what does this win mean for the Warriors and what's next for the Grizzlies?
Well, for Golden State, this was big. They'd lost their previous 3 play-in games, so getting this one, clinching that 7th seed,
Yeah.
huge sigh of relief, probably.
And it sets them up for a first-round series against the Houston Rockets.
Yep. And that's an interesting matchup. There's playoff history there, of course.
Right. Warriors have beaten the Rockets all 4 times they've met in the playoffs before.
True. But that history might not mean as much this time. This Rockets team is different. And they actually split the season series 3-2, if you count the in-season tournament. Houston even beat them pretty recently, back in April.
Okay, so maybe not quite the same dynamic as past years. You could feel the relief from the Warriors, though. Curry said something like, just a sense of relief that we have something to look forward to now.
Yeah, and Coach Kerr basically said the same thing. He talked about how the last few weeks felt like constant elimination games and how crucial it was to just get this win, get a bit of rest, and actually prepare for a series.
He also mentioned Butler specifically, right? How much he's helped since that loss to Houston.
You did? Yeah.
Yeah.
Clearly sees him as a major factor moving forward.
So, okay, what about Memphis? Tough loss at home, but their season's not done yet.
Nope. They get one more shot. They'll host the winner of the Kings-Mavericks game. That's going to be Friday, April 18th. Winner gets the 8th seed.
Another high-pressure game, and the prize for winning that.
A first-round date with the Oklahoma City Thunder, the top seed. So no easy path either way.
Definitely not. It's interesting you mentioned Curry's relief, but he also talked about, appreciating playing meaningful games, how you can't take getting to the playoffs for granted, even with talent.
That's a good perspective. Shows how
Yeah.
tough the West is. And on the flip side, you have Butler apparently telling Warriors leaders before he even joined the team that he could help them win and get here.
That's some serious confidence.
Well, he backed it up in this game, didn't he? Looks like playoff Jimmy might be arriving right on schedule for them.
Okay, so let's wrap this deep dive up. We had a really tight play-in game, back and forth. Jimmy Butler goes off, but the way he did it, especially the free throws, caused a ton of debate online.
Yep.
Warriors grabbed the 7th seed, setting up that series with Houston. Grizzlies now face a win or go home for the 8th seed, just packed with storylines.
It really was. Drama, big performances, controversy, everything you kind of expect and maybe even want from these high-stakes games. Keeps things interesting.
Definitely does. So here's something to chew on. Seeing how intense this one play-in game was and the fan reactions, what does it really tell us about the kind of pressure cooker these players are in? The scrutiny on every single call, every play. And looking ahead to Warriors-Rockets, how much will that past playoff history matter versus their recent games this season? Which narrative wins out as that series gets going? Lots to watch for.
For sure. Plenty to keep an eye on as the playoffs properly kick off.
Absolutely. Thanks for diving deep with us on this one.